Hi everyone, my name is Corey Byers. I'm prior service Army. I served for 11 years and I'm here at MCC as a dental hygiene major. Today I am privileged to present to you the reason as to why we honor Veterans Day. In 1921, an unknown World War I American soldier was buried in Arlington National Cemetery. This site on a hillside overlooking the Potomac River and the city of Washington, D.C. became the focal point of reverence for Americans' veterans. Similar ceremonies occurred earlier in England and France, where an unknown soldier was buried in each nation's highest place of honor. These memorial gestures all took place on November 11th and gave global recognition to the ending of World War I that occurred at 11 a.m. on November 11th, 1918, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. This day became known as Armistice Day. Armistice, meaning an agreement to stop fighting war, became a national holiday in the United States in 1938 by congressional action in the hope that World War I was the war to end all wars. But only a few years after the holiday was proclaimed, war broke out in Europe. 16.5 million Americans took part. 407,000 of them died in service, more than 292,000 in battle. The first recognition of veteran soldiers using the term Veterans Day occurred in Birmingham, Alabama in 1947. Raymond Weeks, a World War II veteran, organized National Veterans Day, which included a parade and other festivities to honor all veterans. The event was held on November 11th on what was then called Armistice Day. In 1954, Congress passed the bill that President Eisenhower signed proclaiming November 11th as Veterans Day instead. While those who died are remembered on Veterans Day, the holiday today is intended to thank and honor all those courageous people who have served in our military.
My name is Justin Rawson. I served in the United States Marine Corps for 4 years. I got out in 2015 as a corporal. I served 2 tours of duty overseas, and my major here at MCC is engineering, University Transfer Engineering. Veterans Day is important to us because, especially veterans, because it celebrates the fact that we have a volunteer force. No one in the last several decades has been drafted, and it's important to realize that the men and women who are overseas now and have been overseas, they're doing that of their own will. They have their reasoning, and I think that's the reason why we celebrate this day, is to celebrate them.
Hi, my name is Cindy Bratu. I was an officer in the U.S. Army Reserve Military Police Corps. I served from 1986 to 1998. I currently work here at MCC as an administrative assistant to the Chief Financial Officer. I think Veterans Day is very important for everyone to remember. There's many people that have given up so much to serve their country, and I think it's one of the biggest sacrifices that a citizen of the United States can make, especially during times like these.
My name is Sula Yepes. I was in the Marine Corps for 8 years. I'm majoring in political science and a minor in pre-law. I'm attending Mississippi State University and also MCC. Veterans Day means to me honoring those who served in the past and also those who are going to serve in the future.
Hi, my name is Nate Nowachit. I retired from the United States Navy with 20 years as a Chief Petty Officer. I currently work in financial aid here at Meridian Community College. What Veterans Day means to me is it's about honoring and giving tribute to those who sacrificed, both men and women and their families, in service to God and country.
Hey, I'm Sergeant Amber Thompson. I've been in the Mississippi National Guard for 5 years. I'm a third semester nursing student at Meridian Community College, and I just want to say nothing is ever free. Somehow, somewhere, someone paid. We don't know them all, but we owe them all. Happy Veterans Day.
Hi, I'm Charlie Price. I'm currently a building custodial out here at MCC. I've been retired from the Navy since June of '94. I was a mess management specialist, second class when I retired, and I just want to say Happy Veterans Day.
I'm Dr. Tom Hubner, and I'm so proud to welcome you to the 2020 Veterans Day ceremony. I'm very proud to recognize Captain Timothy B. Moore, our speaker. Captain Moore graduated with distinction from the United States Naval Academy in 1997 with a Bachelor of Science in Oceanography. Following training, he was designated as a naval aviator in April 1999. He has earned an Executive Master's in Business Administration from the Naval Postgraduate School, completed JPME Level 1 at the Air Command and Staff College, and graduated from the Seahawk Weapons and Tactics Instructor course at NAS Fallon, Nevada. At sea, he served as the Schedules Officer, Naval Training and Operating Procedure Standardization Program Officer, and Detachment Officer in charge while attached to Helicopter Combat Support Squadron 8 in Norfolk, Virginia, deploying 3 times in support of Operations Southern Watch, Enduring Freedom, and Iraqi Freedom. He served as NATOPS and Training Officer while attached to the Helicopter Sea Combat Squadron 2, as Detachment Officer in charge of the 2515th Naval Air Ambulance Detachment at Qab Basra, Iraq, as part of Iraqi Freedom and New Dawn, and Maintenance Officer while attached to Helicopter Sea Combat Squadron 2-5 in Guam. Captain Moore served as Executive Officer and Commanding Officer at Helicopter Sea Combat Squadron 7, embarked on U.S. Harry S. Truman in support of Operation Enduring Freedom, and embarked on USS Dwight D. Eisenhower. His shore tours include service as FRS Instructor Pilot at Helicopter Sea Combat Squadron 3 and joint duty assigned to the Joint Staff J3, J36 Command, Control, and Nuclear Operations Directorate as Senior Emergency Actions Officer, Global Strike Advisor, and Assistant Deputy Director of Operations on Operations Team 3 at the National Military Command Center. Following his squadron command tour, he reported to the U.S. Fleet Forces Command, where he served as Director, Fleet Readiness Integration, Executive Assistant to the Executive Director, Chief of Staff, and Fleet Schedules Branch Chief within the Global Force Management Directorate. Captain Moore reported as the Commanding Officer of Naval Air Station Meridian, Mississippi in August 2020. Captain Moore has flown over 3,200 hours in fixed and rotary wing aircraft, including 150 combat flight hours in the skies over Iraq. His decorations include the Legion of Merit, Defense Meritorious Service Medal, the Meritorious Service Medal, the Air Medal, the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, the Army Commendation Medal, and most importantly, various unit and campaign awards. We are so proud to have Captain Moore here in Meridian, and we look forward to having a wonderful relationship. Please hear the words of Captain Moore as he encourages us on this very important day.
I want to thank Meridian Community College President Dr. Thomas Hubner for the opportunity to address the MCC family in recognition of Veterans Day 2020. As the Commanding Officer of Naval Air Station Meridian, I'm honored to represent the Navy and the U.S. military to this great community in Meridian, Mississippi. On the morning of November 21st, 2010, Mississippi's own United States Marine Corps Lance Corporal William Kyle Carpenter was manning a rooftop security post in Marja, Helmand Province, Afghanistan. Lance Corporal Carpenter and his fellow Marines were partnered with an Afghan National Army squad, working together to defend Marja from any Taliban attacks and provide security for the local Afghan population. As recorded in his Medal of Honor citation, Lance Corporal Carpenter and a fellow Marine were manning a rooftop security position on the perimeter of Patrol Base Dakota when the enemy initiated a daylight attack with hand grenades, one of which landed inside their sandbag position. Without hesitation and with complete disregard for his own safety, Lance Corporal Carpenter moved toward the grenade in an attempt to shield his fellow Marine from the deadly blast. When the grenade detonated, his body absorbed the brunt of the blast, severely wounding him, but saving the life of his fellow Marine. When we hear of such bravery and selfless courage in the face of grave danger, we often ask ourselves, would I have instinctively responded the same way? I believe the answer for many of us would be yes, given the right set of circumstances and shaping influences had occurred in our lives up to that point. Such influences may take different forms. For some, it may be their parents, grandparents, or other family members. For some, it might be the influence of teachers or coaches. And for others, it may be the example of a Sunday school teacher, youth group leader, or their pastor. While I don't know the specifics of the shaping influences in Lance Corporal Carpenter's life, I do know that those influences fostered in him a willingness to serve and a willingness to sacrifice for the common good. I will come back to those influences in a moment, but first I want to give you a little context of how Veterans Day came to be a holiday. America first celebrated Armistice Day on the one-year anniversary marking the end of World War I on November 11th in 1919. The following decade, Congress passed a law for the nation to celebrate each year on November 11th the end of hostilities in what was then known as the War to End All Wars. A generation later, in June of 1954, after both World War II and the Korean War had ended, Congress amended the previous law, and November 11th became known as Veterans Day, a day to honor America's veterans of all wars. Today, the Veterans Affairs website proclaims that the purpose of Veterans Day is a celebration to honor America's veterans for their patriotism, love of country, and willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good. This year, on November 11th, we all can proactively seek to honor America's veterans. I believe that each of us honors America's veterans most when we influence the next generation to serve others, just like America's veterans have served our nation. Going back to the example of Mississippi native Lance Corporal Carpenter, our nation's youngest living Medal of Honor recipient, I might add. His act of selflessness that day in Marja, Afghanistan was instinctive and second nature because his character had been forged throughout his upbringing in some form or fashion, and then it was honed by the rigorous training he received in the military. The scriptures tell us, greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends. This demonstrates to us that if we are willing to put love for others above love for self, possibilities for service and sacrifice for the common good will abound. You and I likely have many occasions where we influence someone in the next generation, someone that could become a Corporal Carpenter in the future. We have opportunities to foster both a willingness to serve and to sacrifice for the common good. These moments are an entrance into the lives of our nation's youth that can take the form of community service, coaching, mentoring, tutoring, volunteering, or teaching in myriad set of circumstances. But the common thread in each of these examples is selflessness in service and sacrifice for the common good. As our nation celebrates Veterans Day this year, we have the great opportunity to honor America's veterans when we foster this willingness to serve by setting an example for the youth of our nation. The younger generation within our community is always looking up to those older than themselves, and their character is developed most by those that invest time with them. In summary, I believe we honor Americans' veterans when citizens throughout our communities demonstrate a willingness to sacrifice for the common good in the various circumstances of our everyday lives. Lastly, if you get the chance this Veterans Day, I encourage you to take the time to thank one of the great veterans in our community. Thank them for their patriotism and love of country. Thank them for their willingness to serve and their sacrifice for the common good. Thank you, and happy Veterans Day.